Sanitation and skincare are two of the most important parts of any good makeup routine. If we are not taking care of our skin, the makeup that we're putting on top of it is not going to be able to do all the things that we want it to do. And then if we are not being sanitary, any kind of bacteria that is in our makeup or on our face is just going to transfer back and forth between the two, and that is definitely not something that we want to happen. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about sanitation and skincare. This is something that is 100% your own responsibility. So in terms of theater, you are not always going to have someone that is going to be there to do your makeup for you. So if you are the one who is 100% doing your own makeup, you are 100% the one who is responsible for your own sanitation. And you are always responsible for your own skincare. Sometimes theaters can buy you products for sanitation or for skincare, but realistically, if you want to be taking the best care of yourself that you can, you want to make sure that you're sanitary, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your skin. If you've never worn makeup before, now is a great time to start practicing all of these things. So one of the things that is so important about making sure that we stay sanitary in makeup is just that a good way to think about it is if you are touching your face, right? So if I touch my face and then I put my hand in my foundation, whatever was on my face is now in my foundation. And then if I drop my foundation right on the floor, whatever was on the floor is now in my foundation. I put my hand in it, then I put it on my face, everything from the floor is now in my face. I think sometimes unless you like break it down and you think about it like that, you don't realize how many things you could be kind of like transferring around and onto your skin. I think sometimes when it's your own personal makeup, we really don't think about how sanitary we should be, but realistically, we've all got bacteria, we've all got things going on. Things have expiration dates, so you just want to make sure that you're always keeping an eye on your sanitation and being as sanitary as possible. Especially kind of in the world that we're living in right now. Sanitation is huge. It is even more important than a lot of people ever realized. It's always been important, but now I think there's even more of an effort for things to be really sanitary. So this is an easy step that you can take, just monitoring your makeup and making sure that you are keeping things as clean as possible. So if you are not being careful with your makeup, bacteria can really grow on top of it, right? So if you keep things past their expiration date, so every product is usually, most things, I will say not everything has it, but most products, if it's any kind of like beauty, skincare, makeup, it's gonna have like a little like white container near like the ingredients list usually, and it's gonna have a little like open lid. So that tells you that once that's open, you have that much time left. So for a lot of mascaras, it's 3 months or 6 months, depending on the brand. A lot of like cream makeup is going to be 2 years. A lot of lip products are about a year, 2 years. Sometimes like pressed powders, like eyeshadows or powder foundations, those can last a few years. But every product is going to be different. If you are someone who loves using clean beauty and all natural products, a lot of the times those actually have a shorter shelf life because they don't have all of the like chemical preservatives that a lot of other products have. So it's something to always be aware of. Something I do is I like to write the date of when I opened things. I am a little bit forgetful sometimes with that, so in my own makeup and in my kit, I try to make a date, just a quick little note on there of when I opened it, so that way when I pick it up again, if it's like a lip color I only wear like twice a year, I pick it up that second time and I'm like, I have to get rid of this now, right? Because if you don't and you kind of let things expire, you put yourself at risk for whatever that bacteria is or the mold or whatever it is that's growing in there. You could put that on your face. If you leave things in climates that are way too humid, that's also not good for our makeup and our beauty products, so that's another way for mold to grow too, so just be really careful about that. If you are washing your makeup brushes, so I do have 2 videos on that specifically, so I'm not going to get too much into that, but if you're washing your makeup brushes, you're deep cleaning them and they're wet, and you immediately seal them back up into a bag, you risk those getting moldy too, so it's really important when we are cleaning things, if it's something that gets wet, let it dry. Let your beauty blender dry. Let your brushes dry. You don't want to create mold in a place where it's completely avoidable. So be really conscious of that. Another place where it's really important, or another aspect of sanitation and makeup, is not sharing our makeup. I have seen people share mascara. I see people share lipstick. And it terrifies me. I used to work in like cosmetic retail, and I would see people just like pick up a tester and put it right on their face. Please don't ever do that. I don't care how clean you think your friends are or how clean you think the store is that you're shopping in. It's probably not. If you just take some 70% alcohol to something, that's going to help sanitize it so much. If you do have to try something on, if for some reason you do have to share something, at least try to sanitize it first. That's not necessarily perfect though. Like if your friend has pink eye and you use their mascara, you're probably going to have pink eye. So yeah, it's a good way to spread pink eye. You can spread staph, you can spread herpes. Just be really careful, because sometimes making just like one little, you're like, oh, I'm just going to borrow this lipstick, that's whatever. If that person has herpes, then you could also have it, right? So don't make one small like little decision like that and think it's not going to affect you, when that's something that could affect you for the rest of your life. So be really careful about that. So watch your expiration dates, watch where you're putting on makeup. Please don't share your makeup with people. If theaters make you share makeup, always, always, always sanitize it. Spray it with 70% alcohol. If it's a lipstick, you can like cut it up and scoop it out, so you're each using your own portions. If it's foundations, scoop it out. Anything that's a cream or a liquid can be taken from its original container, and you can put it into a new container, or do that every time so no one is actually going into the actual product. The same for powder. So you don't need to use an eyeshadow directly. If it is not your eyeshadow, you can scrape off the top of it, and then you just have it as a loose powder to use, and you can use it that way. Scraping things out into palettes or just the lids of your makeup, as long as those things are sanitary, is a really great way when we are in a situation where we have to share makeup, that we are also not sharing germs. So I understand that there's a lot of theaters and a lot of places that are on a budget, or maybe you really love your friend's lipstick and you really want to try it. Just keep in mind there are ways to keep things sanitary if we must share things. So please do that. Check your expiration dates. Another thing that I see all the time when I'm teaching is people will drop things on the floor and then just mindlessly they just put it straight on their face. If you think about all the places that your shoes have been, especially like, so I live in Chicago, if I am walking on public transportation and walking outside and then I drop my lipstick in the same place where my shoes have been and I put that right on my face, that is like I just put the entire city of Chicago onto my lips, right? It's terrifying when you think about it like that. So please take the time. If I do something like that, I try to scrape off the top layer of it. I spray it with alcohol before I do that. I spray it with alcohol after I do that. And then it's still a question of whether or not I will use it again. A lot of the times if I drop something on the floor, it's just like done. I can't use it again because I do really worry about things, but as long as you do scrape things off and spray it down, 70% alcohol really is best, because that takes a little bit longer to dry than like the higher grades of alcohol, so it's on there a little bit longer. There's also like beauty product like sanitizers that are out there now, so you have a lot of different options. There's wipes. There's a lot of ways that aren't that difficult to make sure that to help you make sure that your stuff is sanitary. Another big part of sanitation is cleaning your brushes. Like I said, we're not going to go into super detail with that because they do have the separate brush cleaning videos. But if you think about it, if you, again, every time that brush touches your face or that beauty blender touches your face, it's taking whatever is on your face plus whatever is in the makeup, and then it's mixing it together. So if you just let it sit there, it's just going to kind of fester and it's just going to grow, which sounds horrifying again when you think about it like that, but realistically, if you cleaned your brushes, at least with like, again, a 70% alcohol, that can get a little bit drying, but it's certainly going to sanitize them. There's spray brush cleaners, there's deep cleaning brush cleaners. If you don't have time for them to dry, use the little spray brush cleaners, use some alcohol. You drop your brush on the floor, again, do you need to put the entire city on your face? No, you don't. So please, sanitize them, clean them off. It only takes a second, and it just will make a world of a difference. And also your brushes and sponges are going to work better if they're clean too. So if you don't really care from a sanitation aspect, think of it like that. If I use something that was blue and now I need to use yellow and I go to dip into the yellow, I'm not going to get that true yellow that I want. I need to get the blue out of it first. So also think about it like that. To have your products work in the best way possible, you need to make sure that they are staying in good shape. So realistically, for your own self, if you can clean your brushes once a week, I think that is really great. If you do it more than that, that's even better. But if you can at least clean them once a week with either spray brush cleaner and then maybe deep clean them like every other week, once a month, as long as you do something, that's really important. If you have a beauty blender, I personally believe you need to clean that every single time, because cleaning those gets so hard. The more makeup that you use with them, it just gets lodged in the middle of it. So my views on those are, if you are thinking about getting one for your own personal makeup, just know that you have to clean it, and if you are not willing to spend the time to clean it, then do not buy one. Get disposable sponges or get brushes, get both of those, but if you're not going to put the time into cleaning a reusable sponge, I wouldn't get it, because they can get so tricky to clean, and you know that you may not always want to take the time to do it probably, so just kind of like really think about that before you invest in one of those. Or I know some artists that use them like they use them like they're disposable sponges, so if that's the case, you can do that as well. But it's really important, keep your makeup clean, keep your brushes clean, and then the other really important part of makeup is your skincare. You have to keep your face clean too. That is one thing that I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize, because I think a lot of people don't do a lot of skincare, but if you are, for instance, so I'm making this for my my stage makeup classes, right? So if you are not used to wearing a lot of makeup, and then all of a sudden you start putting all this makeup on your face and you're not taking it off properly, your skin is going to freak out. It's going to you're going to get acne, you could get irritation from it. You know, you're basically putting something on top of your face that's not really supposed to be there. So if you leave it, you're just like coating your pores with whatever your makeup is. So it's a really, really bad thing to like sleep in your makeup, to not remove it. So if you put makeup on your face, you need to take the makeup off. If the most you can do is use a makeup wipe, that is better than nothing else. It is far better to like remove your makeup and to cleanse your face, but I do understand that that's just not always going to be possible, or you just may not feel well, or you may not feel like it, whatever it is. But if you can at least remove that makeup, you're going to be way better off, because if you sleep in your makeup, not only could you get acne, but again, you could end up with like eye infections and all sorts of nasty things just from letting that sit on your face for too long. So just think about that as you're kind of like embarking on your like stage makeup journey. You might have to start doing kind of a different routine. If everybody like washed and moisturized their face every day, that's going to be a lot better for you if you are starting to put all this different stuff on your face. Or if you're just noticing, like if you're moving somewhere new, if you're moving from a really warm climate to a really cold climate, there's not going to be that humidity in the air anymore, so you may need to moisturize, whereas before you may have never needed to. Also, the older that you get, your skin is going to change, so you may not realize, like if you're not moisturizing and taking care of your skin now, the damage that you could be doing in the future. The same goes for if you're not wearing SPF. You may not see it now, but when you're older, you may start to see like sunspots and wrinkles and things like that. Not to mention skin cancer too. So SPF is important, moisturizer is important, washing your face is important, and removing your makeup is important. You don't have to spend a ton of money on things. Just know that if your skin is not like in good shape, one, your makeup's not going to go on well, but you might just not feel your best, right? You don't want to open yourself up to like infections and skin irritations that are perfectly avoidable if you just do a little bit of skincare. So just kind of like keep that in mind if this is like the first time that you're really like wearing a lot of makeup, or you're just kind of noticing like you're not happy with your skin. Identify what your skin type is. So are you oily, are you normal, are you combination, and then you can kind of go from there, and you can see like there's all different kinds of products that are out there. And again, you don't have to spend a ton of money on it, but basic, very, very basic, if you can at least wash your face and moisturize it and remove makeup and put on SPF, especially if you're going to be outside, you're going to be in a much better place. And maybe you won't see a lot of like the differences now, but the older you get, the more thankful you are going to be that you took care of your skin. So this is just like a little like micro lesson on it, a little introduction to sanitation and skincare, but again, if you're not starting with a good base for your makeup, a good clean base for your makeup is not going to go on well, and you may not get the results that you want, and then you're just hurting your own health. So please stay sanitary, please take off your makeup, please take care of your skin, and hopefully that will help makeup be a little bit more fun for you and keep things fun and sanitary and clean.